Hello and welcome to Plate Stack Chat with me, Jason. This show is supported by Strivey, so please go check them out, see what they have to offer, especially if you're looking for a smooth app to manage your gym members and programming. Now, on this show, I find wonderful guests and bring them on for a chat. And today we have a wonderful athlete that we are going to get to know a little bit better. You might have seen her on the grid with the Houston Bandits, probably dancing, or maybe on a qualifying team for the CrossFit Games, although you might not have seen them on the floor. Or maybe you've just seen her chasing her 3 children down the street. But we have definitely seen her enough in the live chat of this show, so it's only right that she joins us as a guest. Please welcome Lauren Olson.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Oh, let's get through the hellos very quickly. Hello, Corey.
What's up, Corey?
Hello, Craig.
Hello, Craig.
You can all go away now. No, don't go away. Stay. Don't go away. But
Stay.
I just meant I need to be able to see the screen clearer. Okay, I've moved everything around now. Lauren, how are you?
I'm doing good, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm quite excited, Lauren, because big things are happening. I don't know if you've seen.
Is it done?
It's not done. It's not done.
Okay.
But I mean, there's like 14 days left or something on the thing.
Okay.
And I'm well over halfway. I'm very close to.
Can you explain? I have some friends listening that have no idea probably what we're talking about.
Yes, I can explain it. I'm just going to adjust my camera 1 second and then I will explain. I'm just slightly unhappy. Okay, and everyone will be like, nothing changed. Something changed for me, so don't worry. Yes, so if you're a friend of Lauren, obviously you love grid. And you enjoy watching her on the grid so much, especially this past weekend. I mean, we're going to have to talk about that soon because, whoa, what a weekend.
Yeah.
If you are a friend of Lauren and you didn't know about grid before and you've just started watching this weekend, congratulations. That is the weekend to start watching. Very exciting. Is this a friend of yours who doesn't know what grid is and just started grid?
Yes. Hey, Carol.
So one of the things that kept being said on the live stream was about how we need to see it in person. Oh, we've got to see it in person. You've got to see it in person. So I have this wonderful privilege of potentially being the most knowledgeable person about grid in the UK. That's not very useful because I don't know if you've noticed, everything takes place in the States. And it's been like all season, people have been saying, I've got to go, right? I was thinking, if I'd had more time in my life, I'd have made a reel. I'd have clipped all the different shows and all the different times that people were like, you've got to come out here. We've got to get you out here. We've got to get you out here. So I finally decided, you know what? I've got to get to the championships.
Yeah.
And people kept saying, oh, you should do like a GoFundMe thing, a GoFundMe. And by potentially he means years.
Oh, no. I can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So I kind of looked into like how much it would cost to get me there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've put a minimum, so basically I've said, hey, if you really want me to go, help me get there.
Yeah.
I don't want to just ask for money for nothing. So I've said, look, I'm going to do burpees. So you can contribute money and I'll do as many burpees as you kind of pay for. But there's like the cheap version that's just regular burpees.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the slightly more expensive version. If you've noticed, I like to wear a suit. I like to be professional. And I will do the burpees in the suit. So currently, because a lot of people actually donated and just said no burpees, it's a gift. Right. It's a gift. Kristen was the best. She said, I'm a strength specialist. I wish burpees upon no one. So that was a lovely. I think currently I'm at 11 burpees in a suit.
Okay.
And 25 normal burpees.
You could honestly knock them out right now. I say do it.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saving them all up for this live stream.
Oh, okay, duh.
I'm going to do them all in one go because I think then if it's a bigger number, that's, better. Sure. And the idea is I'll have a live stream. I'll be doing burpees, but I will extend an invitation, maybe even to someone like you, Lauren, other grid, other people from the grid, or someone like Corey who wants to commentate on it. And people can just jump on the show for a little bit. We'll have a chat. Mm-hmm. They can watch me suffer and, critique my form. quite a lot of people have just donated saying no burpees. We just want to get you there. So, and I really do appreciate that.
So
I'm
be there.
well over halfway to my goal.
That's
like
crazy.
well over halfway to my goal, and it's been less than 24
I
hours.
was gonna ask, less than 24 hours. Wild.
Yeah,
You'll
which
get
is great. Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, I had to set. So I've got like an amount set that's my target.
Right.
Like if you're looking at that going, oh, he's quite close, I don't need to donate. The target balance, like the target amount, was basically my fear, because I've never done anything like this, but I've never like done a GoFundMe or anything like that. My fear was to say, oh, donate and I'll come, and then I get like, 200 pounds for me, let's say $200, and now I'm like, now I need to go because people have given me money,
right?
But I'm actually going to lose a lot of money.
Right. Yeah,
doing
you
this.
put in there like, if I don't make it, then I'll refund your money.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got an amount that is like, if I hit that amount, at least, I'm going to be putting in my own money as well, but it's manageable.
Yeah.
But then I know I can definitely do it.
Yeah.
If I go beyond that amount, thank you, because that just makes up for the work I'm going to miss and just different stuff.
Yeah.
So once I hit that target amount, I'll just remove that from the thing and just be like, the burpees are happening.
Yeah.
But, if you want to continue supporting or make me suffer more, because I said at the moment, there's 36 burpees. That's pretty easy. Yeah. I can do that.
That's awesome. I'll be sure to donate and then say, no, you have to do burpees.
Yeah. Feel free to. I mean, I almost feel embarrassed that it's so few. Yeah. But, I mean, it was very heartwarming to see, like, it's funny because somebody says to me, see, I told you that and I was like, well, it's one thing to like say, oh, we like you, we want you there, kind of like, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's another thing for, people to put their hand in their pocket and actually donate some money, especially when I see who has, and I'm thinking, well, these people are having to pay their own travel and their own things as well. So like, I really, and boy, am I going to bring my camera and spend, if you are there, you are getting interviewed. Like, don't think, oh, but I only run like, one race of I don't care. If I'm out there, I am getting everybody.
It's worth your time for sure.
And even people I've been messaging, like I know, like Vilma said she's going to be there. Bridie said she's going to be, like, ones that aren't, Lauren, maybe you're going to be there.
I know. I wish I could make that trip, but
so even people that I know aren't there because they're not in the playoffs.
Right.
I'm like, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? Because it's a great opportunity to, and if it goes very well, who knows? Maybe next season I'll try and get to one of the matches like at the start of the season when everybody's going to be there.
Might be watching. Maybe I can sweet talk him in. We can just do a quick flight there and spend a weekend together, and he can see Grid. And
there you go. You got to see Grid. You got to see Grid. Yeah. Anyway, so, you know what I should do? I'm very disorganized. I'm going to ask you a question, and while you're answering the question, I'm going to just pull up the link to my thing, and then I can be like, if you want to donate, this is
absolutely,
this is where you can do it. So while that comes up, I'm curious. So you, as I said in the intro, and as you kind of gave me a bit of a spoiler, you started CrossFit like in 2015, I think, according to your bio. Is that correct?
2015.
So I mean, there's two big questions. I got 10 solid American dollars on it. Thank you, Corey. So a couple of questions for you. First of all, how did you get into CrossFit?
Yeah.
And I just realized that 2015 isn't that long ago. It's 10 years, but it's not in the grand, it used to be 10 years used to be like, whoa, 10 years, you are like right at the very, very, very beginning. But yeah, that's sort of almost on par with me. You're way fitter than me, but it's almost on par with me.
Yeah.
How did you get into CrossFit?
So I actually went to school to be a PE teacher, to teach health and physical education. And you have to do like student teaching and mentorships. And so the girl who I mentored under, she did CrossFit.
Right. Okay.
What is this that you do? I had my middle daughter in September of 14. So I was pretty fresh postpartum. And I was just looking to get in shape. So started CrossFit in January of 15 and never stopped. Never looked back.
That's interesting. It's, I mean, ironically, I have a similar way in to CrossFit.
This is Coda.
In-
Hi.
Oh, we've got dogs as well. We didn't mention dogs in the intro. We only mentioned children. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, I have 3 kids and a dog, but she's, just like my other kids. So 4 kids.
4 kids. Oh, yeah. Which one's the most trouble?
Coda or Nora. They're handfuls. Oh, hang on.
How old are the kids and what's the spread? What are we looking at here?
So I have a 15-year-old, almost 16.
Right.
I have a 10, almost 11, and then I have a 6. So they're all about 5 years apart.
So your middle and youngest are pretty much the same as my eldest and youngest.
Okay. You have 2?
I've got 2.
Okay.
Stop to 2.
Yeah.
2 and a bearded dragon. So, that's the third. That's the new one, the new edition.
Bearded dragon. Interesting.
Yeah. We're not allowed dogs or cats in this building. So
what a UK thing to do. Like,
what?
Can't have furry animals? Let me get a bearded dragon.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
They're very much like, they're kind of like dogs. It's weird. Anyway, 10 years is a long time to be doing anything. It is, Corey. Yeah.
I can't see comments. So
you can't see comments. In the top right-hand corner of your screen, you should have private chat.
Oh, I put the big screen. Is that why?
Well, it should be like private chat and then comments. You have to like switch it across.
Yeah, I got it. Cool.
I can bring it up on the screen, but
I'm gonna keep my dog out really fast because she's gonna get on my nerves. Come on, go, come on. Go.
We've lost everyone. Oh no, she's left the show. Okay, put in the comments quick. Some of your friends here, tell me stuff about. Oh no, she's back.
I had told, hey Jess, I had told, oh there is George, that I told the team that I was gonna get a suit, and I have not had time. So last minute, I was like, what does my husband have in this closet? Because he's Army. So I was like, maybe he has something. I found his graduation gown.
Oh, wonderful.
So that'll do her.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. So I feel just as professional as you know.
Oh yeah. Well, you look more professional. To be honest, you look like we're in a court of law and I'm about to get in big trouble.
Let's go.
Oh, right. Oh, Lauren Zero Technology 1. Oh no, it's all happening.
What we go? Technology, what happened?
I think he thought you had a problem with your camera or something. That's why you walked off.
Oh.
He didn't realize you were doing actually the same thing that Fico did when he was on the show.
I remember, yeah.
He was break out the jacket. I love it.
So
I love it. Also, what's the over and under Jason wearing? This is very that's a great question, Corey. I will happily stand up. I have to stand up in the chair.
He has full pants on.
Yeah.
No wonder you were hot.
So I even the other day it was like England has gone from some crazy weather recently. It was so hot, and my wife actually said, like, you could just wear shorts or something. And I was like, no. I know the chat. One day, the chat will call me out. So thank you, Corey.
Yeah.
But you see, I know you all too well now. I've been doing this show for a long time, so I'm learning. Anyway, I appreciate you getting dressed up for the occasion.
Of course. My pleasure. Looks fair too.
We were talking about your kids. We were talking about CrossFit. Let's just jump to grid now. No. Actually, sorry. I had 2 questions about CrossFit, didn't I? So in your bio, it says you qualified for the CrossFit Games on a team.
Okay.
First of all, congratulations. That's very difficult to do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I would say, especially, when you've got kids, that makes it even harder to do. Jason, test out some burpees. Not yet. I've got to save them all up.
I asked him to, Jess.
I've got to save them all up, Jess. So I've got to stop reading the comments for a second. Right. You made it to the CrossFit Games. I've seen that in your bio, and I've seen that in your Houston Bandits bio, and I've seen that in your CrossFit bio page.
Okay.
CrossFit account. Yeah. However, interesting thing is that it says you went to the games, but then it's like a mystery. It's just a blank. Lauren Oslon, what happened to the CrossFit Games?
Oh my. No. Yeah. It's always weird when people ask me, like, even this weekend, Dalton had interviewed me and he brought that question up, and it's like, Weird question. Yes. We qualified for the CrossFit Games. We made it to Madison. We made it through check-ins. We got our cool team pictures done. And then we went off site to do some workouts together. And a teammate of mine was walking up the wooden handstand ramp and he fell. And he's the one that, and Josh, I know you'll watch this because he watches all podcasts, ripped his face off, essentially.
I'm sorry, just now you said you're watching and then I still laughed. I'm so sorry.
Well, I just like, how do you say it etiquettely? Is that the right word? But he quite literally ripped his nose off. And it was this huge thing because we had an alternate and then they wouldn't let us use him. So we didn't officially, that was us. Yep. It was a big deal. And then, cause our alternate wasn't like going to help us by any means, we probably would have taken last place. Like, just let us compete.
Yeah.
And they said no, because we had already checked in. So once you reach check-in, you could no longer switch your alternates. So we were spectators the whole weekend.
That's interesting. I don't know. Okay. I mean, rules are rules,
For sure.
But that feels a little, I don't know. I need to digest how I feel about that.
Sure.
Because part of me is like, oh, come on, that's so stupid. Like, obviously, if something's happened, but then at the same time, I think,
Matt, go away. He's always like, I'm here and I'm ready to party.
Yeah, I did. I was gonna follow up with asking, how did you feel when you saw them introduce the ramp in Grid League? Did you think, were you like, oh no?
Oh, I'm fine. It wasn't me. I mean, I didn't even see it happen. I just saw like the after effects, but like wooden ramps still scare me.
Yeah.
But when the squishy ones came out, I was like, I can't even hardly do this anyway on a good day. So I won't have to do it. But I do remember like the group talking about all this crazy stuff Grid was trying to do. And I was like, I can let them know that dangerous shit is not great. Like, people can break themselves, but.
Yeah, but they would say that about anything, wouldn't they? Like, yeah, of course someone can, and to Matt's point earlier, I mean, if I told him handstand walk ramps are dangerous, he would laugh in my face.
Yeah.
And then probably dance. But first he would laugh in my face. And he'd probably say like dangerous for you because you can't do them. But for me, fine. A barbell can be dangerous if you drop it on your head, The rate, did you see, I think, was it Chris Chaffee that posted a thing today, I think, about when he fell from the rings, in the past, and like the rings are everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Walking across the road is dangerous if you're not careful, right? So
for sure.
We can't let it stop Grid from evolving.
Yeah, for sure.
And we wouldn't have got, and like, of course, there's no way on earth Matt would want that the ramps are removed. It is the thing that made him famous.
I don't want the ramps removed.
So, of course, he will fight tooth and nail, I think, to make sure it stays forever. Zumba is dangerous.
Oh, my God. Zumba. I'm telling you. I told Jasmine Simpson, let's do a dancing ringer.
A dancing ringer? Oh. How would that be judged?
I don't know. I would just judge myself and say I win.
Okay, well, there you go. No wonder you want to do that as your ringer then.
I don't know. Jasmine's pretty good. So.
Yeah. And then people were saying CrossFit should implement a super wild card.
Yes.
Then you would have been able to get anyone. You could have got Matt to come and do the handstand walk for you.
Yeah.
Interesting. No. Okay, so that was your kind of dally into CrossFit and the CrossFit Games, which is, I mean, you okay with that? You're like, that's got to be disappointing to put in all the work to get there. Oh, I'm also thinking about how expensive it is to go to the games now as well.
Oh, well, we were really blessed. Like, similar to your situation right now, like we just have a super awesome support system at our gym, and they just lots of fundraising. Everything was covered. Everything for all four of us, our travels, our hotel, our food. So, but to your point, I did feel really bad that like they didn't get to see anything. But people at my gym, they got to see Shelby and I. We trained at the same gym, my girl teammate. So they got to witness us firsthand putting in that work. So I guess it wasn't all for nothing. They got to see that.
And I mean, if we're being honest, and this is to the credit of Grid and their lovely live stream, if we're being honest, a team at the CrossFit Games, there's a good chance they wouldn't have seen you anyway.
They won't see it for sure. Yeah.
On the live stream. I know people that there's someone I knew that went to the games on a team, and the joke I have with him is I don't think he ever went to the games.
Right, because
I've never seen you at the game. And even there was a picture. It was like, you know, the Monster Inc. Like kind of thing where he's like always covered. And there was a picture when they were doing like the opening ceremony, and he's literally covered by a flag.
Solid.
So you can't even see him in that picture. I was like, I don't think you went.
Yeah, that's not you.
Yeah. So that's CrossFit.
Yep.
Let's pause that for a second.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jess has just come in. It could have been a static camera in the corner like they did for the Masters. Yeah. And in that case, just find somebody blonde.
Yeah.
And just go, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. 1 of 50. Which one is me? Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny watching you on the. So I was watching your match on Sunday against the Venoms. Very exciting match.
It was a good match.
We were watching that I was watching that on another live stream. I was on the Glidden Things podcast, and we were watching that and talking about it. And it was funny when they were trying to work out who someone was on your team, someone they knew. And like literally every time somebody blonde picked it up, or somebody with red hair, because they weren't entirely sure. They're like, oh, I think that's her. I think that's her. Once it was you, and we're like, no, that's Lauren. I know that's Lauren.
Yeah.
So
my mom liked it because I started to do the braid, which I'm usually always a messy bun, and she's like, I like that you did the braid because I could see like it was you. So I just stuck with the braid for my mom. For you, Mom.
For your mum. Yeah. The braid is for your mum. Okay.
My mom.
Good to know. Yeah. So yes, okay. So sorry, Jess distracted me with talks of the camera, but there we go.
Yeah.
However, you have now moved into the world of Grid.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, Aaliyah Miller,
yes.
We've heard. Okay, so she is a friend of mine so I live in the Kansas City, Missouri area, and so she used to live in the Kansas side of that. Right. So we linked up there, and in maybe November, I think I posted a 195-pound snatch, and I guess she sent that to Sophia. They were looking for strength girls, and then she was like, hey, would you be interested in Grid? And I was like, oh my gosh. So I talked to my husband, and I won't lie, like I made fun of Grid. I was just like, what is this crap I'm seeing? And
well, I always say that people within CrossFit talk about Grid the way people outside of CrossFit talk about CrossFit.
You're right. Yeah.
So, and then once you start looking into it, like the same way, you know, when you start looking into CrossFit, you're like, oh, actually, all the stuff people are saying isn't true. And then you kind of look into Grid and you're like, oh, actually, a lot of the comments people from CrossFit make about Grid is second or third hand comments they've heard from somebody else. And so it's not really the case. But yes, so that's not an unfamiliar story to me. And I don't think you need to feel bad about maybe having made fun of Grid before you really knew it.
Well, I think the only Grid I saw was like the triple touches and the crazy ring stuff. And while, yes, it was impressive, I was that person that was like, that's stupid. That's giving CrossFit a bad name and not really knowing what it is. So when Aaliyah reached out, I was like, man, I like the thought of this. I talked to Sophia and I just said, CrossFit's my main priority as far as financially. I'm going to put my eggs in that basket for competitions and travel. I want to do Grid, but how does that work? And so she mentioned like sponsorship opportunities and like, as long as you put in the work, you can make money to pay for your season. And I did. I was really grateful for our sponsors.
Yeah, like that's a little caveat to add on the end there. Yeah, as long as you get good sponsors, you can make money to pay for your season.
Oh yeah, there's no money in pocket. It was very much every single cent went to hotel, flights, food.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Matt is the same as you. Look at this.
Well,
no way am I doing that. Just asking to be hurt. 2017. Matt.
People looking to still do sport. That's what Matt and I are.
Yeah. Does it? What sport did you do before CrossFit?
I did like team sports, so basketball, volleyball, softball. Played college basketball for 1 year and then became a mom. So,
yeah, which is the greatest sport of all, we know.
Sport it is, Jason.
Yeah, because I I'm on like the podcast I do for my affiliate.
Yeah.
I've interviewed a lot of the members, and it's interesting to see you get a lot of, well, here in the UK, it's like a lot of ex-rugby players and things like that. It's like, oh, I played rugby and then, I couldn't really do it anymore, or I kind of aged out of doing it, or I used to do it at uni and then I stopped. And it's like they found CrossFit kind of really scratched that competitive itch for them.
Yeah.
And they're the people that I see at, heading off at the weekend to different events and different comps. And they're not, they're not people that are necessarily going to make it. I was going to say to the games, but I mean, even to like a semi-final, but it just scratches that itch for you.
Absolutely.
Do you find grid and it being this, team sport and mix as well, does that more scratch the kind of competitive sporty itch for you than like when you were doing CrossFit?
Yeah, I feel like I've drank the juice. I'm all in on this sport. I'm really sad our season's over with, but I'm really looking forward to next season already. I very much enjoyed it more than I've ever enjoyed competing in CrossFit. I know it's because of the specialties. With CrossFit, my weakness is gymnastics. So then I show up and I'm like dreading this workout because there's handstand push-ups or whatever. And grid, it's like, I'm just doing what I'm good at. So, well, I did have to do handstand push-ups this weekend. I was really proud of that. See? Yeah. So I like that. I like that it's specialties.
Which I think is also nice for like it's good for you, right? Because you get to avoid the thing you're not good at.
Yeah.
But it's also good for people watching because it's like, there's nothing worse than watching someone just not be able to do something.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun. And you almost get that kind of like secondhand embarrassment as well, where you're just like, oh man, I feel so bad for them because they can't do this movement or they can't do this thing. And so you really, like, as a spectator, it's so nice to be able to see the different specialists step in and just do it. And then, but at the same time, within grid, there's nothing I like more than seeing, a strength specialist have to do that last muscle up that wasn't done on the triad or something like that, and you're like, oh, they shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
But I love that they can do it. And then they go and do the bit they were meant to be doing, kind of thing. So it's funny that I just think it's got that nice way that what's good for you is good for the spectator as well.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of
nicely.
It. For sure.
You said you're looking forward to next season.
I am.
You did say that. So I was going to ask, like, how had the season gone, and will we see you back on the grid?
Oh, for sure. I'm sticking with my homies. I feel like we all created such a good bond. Yeah, that's probably one of the coolest parts too, is you have all of these strangers from around the US, and I met them on virtual practices.
Right.
We show up in Miami and it's just like, I know these people. It's just crazy. So then you just have this lifetime bond. What did Fico say?
Fico's got a great comment here. He says, also, you get better at things you're not good at because we have other athletes that are specialists that coach you. Yeah. My lift and gymnastics got so much better after joining grid.
That's funny, Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be okay with like the CrossFit stuff. You know what I mean? Like I had to do.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Also, Sophia said you did great handstand push-ups.
Put me on the rings. I can handle that. Like I told Sophia at the beginning of this, I'm like, I can learn these things. I will do that, but I'm not going to win them. So don't put me on there.
But I think the other thing that's great about grid is it. I know, like our box owner, Ollie Mansbridge, he's always talking about how kind of CrossFit forces you to leave your ego at the door, and you can't, it's by the nature of doing CrossFit, it's really hard to have an ego because, I mean, when I started CrossFit, I can still remember, I will remember this forever. I remember starting and one of the coaches was very heavily pregnant, but she would still do the classes like when she wasn't coaching. Yeah. And I just remember coming in, and this was like sort of 10-ish years ago. So I was, late 20s at that time, and getting absolutely destroyed in workouts by a pregnant woman.
I love
and
that.
You're just like, right, I got it. And the thing is, now she's had 2 kids, and she just destroys me even worse in workouts. She's a machine. but it's that idea, right? It forces you to leave your ego. I find with grid, it's even more interesting because you're like, oh, I can do muscle ups, I can do handstand push-ups,
Mhm.
I can do burpees over a bar, but you can't do them as fast as other people. And so you kind of have to say, yeah, I could do this, but it's better if they do it,
Right.
which is quite hard to do, especially when you are, a competitive athlete.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was hard for some people that I've heard that, even on our team, it was just like, well, I want to be played. And it's like, okay, I get it. We all want to. We want to get our money's worth. We're flying across the states. But listen, if you're not putting in that work to get faster or get the fastest time, you're just not going to get it. End of story, period. Like, I mean, it's very simple in grid. It's like, if you're not the fastest, you just won't be out there. I don't know what to tell you. Hi, Avery.
Oh, sorry. Let's bring Avery on. Oh, she said she knows you, which is also nice, isn't it? Because like you can clearly, I mean, Matt's in the chat. Clearly, you have people that have personalities that are on the team, and the camera loves them, and they will somehow stop a match mid-match and turn it into a dance night.
I'm here for that.
Who knew that could happen in grid?
This is the coolest thing. I'm looking around and I look over and the lions are dancing and I'm just like, yes, this is great.
But you still have to be like, if your time isn't the fastest, you're still not getting used. It doesn't matter that you are kind of a face that people want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love is I've talked to every team. I've even talked to the Wolves. They're not even a team yet, so I've talked to every team, and it's fascinating that like the group chat is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Every team has a group chat. Everybody said, all the rookies say, oh, I sent through my videos and the feedback I got was do it faster. Everybody is just about, oh, we timed all the splits for this. We sent everyone through this. We know who was fast,
Mm-hmm.
and then you base it off of that, which is kind of great, right? It eliminates some of that sort of favoritism and, oh, we're just going to use this person because they've got more they've got more followers on social media, so we'll send them down. You're like, nah, it's probably not the best strategy if you want to win.
Yeah, Jess had said something. Yeah, I'm not super great, Jess, with like the rules on subbing. That hurts my brain. I'm not that smart, I'll be honest. Yeah, so I imagine that does suck when someone subbed up to put them in.
We want to see your grid speed burpees.
We will in his outfit.
Yeah, you will.
Grid speed burpees. Listen, I won't lie.
Speaking of, Billy has said she put up a post. Now I don't know if this is true, but she said she would match me in number of burpees.
Who?
Billy Shelton from the Breakers. So, but my point on that is, oh boy, she's very fast at doing burpees.
For sure. She will. I bet she'll finish hers and not even be winded.
Yeah. The other thing I have to do, by the way, I didn't mention, so I've got so far the 25 and 11 burpees. Okay. The more tricky challenge is someone has donated some money, but they didn't want me to do burpees. So I'll give a quick shout out to Wadaptive. That is an event that I've worked with a number of times. I've gone there and highlighted, they're a pairs competition in the UK that does adaptive athlete teaming up with an able-bodied athlete, and so they kind of run it's wonderful. It's an amazing atmosphere, amazing competition. For me to get the money from them, the requirement is he's posting a mono rope to my house tomorrow. So the skipping rope with the bar in between for one-handed.
Okay, yeah.
And I have to get 30 unbroken single skips on a mono rope. So that'll be another little
jump rope.
Another little challenge that's coming my way. Jess says no one understands. No one understands the rule. Yeah. That is amazing. Will you be following the adaptive divisions CrossFit Games this season? Yes, I will. If you think Jason doesn't deserve money to go and watch Grid, my friend Rachel Hives is also trying to raise money for her trip to the Adaptive CrossFit Games. Also, my other friend Liam is trying to raise money for his trip to the Adaptive CrossFit Games. And 2 weeks ago, I was in Luxembourg at the Iron Showdown. There's another really interesting event with kind of a twist on the adaptive division. They ran 10 lanes 14 heats, and every heat was mixed. So you had some adaptive athletes with different adaptions. You had a pairs competition, so it was scaled and RX. So when you look down the field, you'd see, a couple of pairs that were doing the workout RX, a couple that were doing it scaled, somebody with one arm, somebody with one leg, somebody in a wheelchair, but it forced you to look at everyone. And that was a really nice event. So that's another, yes, big fan of the adaptive division. I try and do quite a fair bit of work with these kind of competitions.
That's awesome.
I try, but maybe after my monorope disaster, I'll cut myself off from all of those. Oh, Sophia Davenport. My rookie season, I did a burpee fundraiser. My students all donated. I had to do 789 burpees, and they all got together to count them. Yeah, I'm
glad they could count that high. That was great.
Yeah, good students.
Great job, teacher.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Here we've got some tips. Try and hold the monorope in place and really just use your wrist. Don't swing it. Thank you. I will. I'll give you a call when I'm struggling to do this. And Corey says, I have 2 legs, but I move like I only have one most of the time. One of the coolest things I saw at this competition was wall walks with one leg.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was interesting. So, and also that athlete will also be going to the Adaptive CrossFit Games.
Okay.
There was actually a whole little group of them that will be there as well. She chat GPT that.
We chat GPT quite a bit.
Oh, A-Red's question. Lauren, what are you most looking forward to in the off season?
What is an off season? Just kidding.
An off season?
I don't know. I do have some CrossFit competitions.
Such a mum answer as well.
Yeah.
What is an off season?
I do have some competitions. I have one next weekend, actually. I feel like, of course I'd still train CrossFit, but just not enough to win a comp. So I'm curious how next weekend will stand up. But I've always had the goal to make it in the Masters division. I'm 35 now. Barely missed it this year. But I told myself I don't ever want to train like I did in 23 when we made the games. That was 4 to 6 hours a day at the gym was too much.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I can't make it on my daily training I do now, then that's okay. Yeah. That's my plan, Corey. Oh, yeah. Monster Games. I'm sorry. I am. Are you going? Who are you, Corey?
Who are you, Corey?
Yeah, that's where I'll be next weekend. So with the old ladies.
Are you going to be there, Corey? Are you at the Monster Games?
Sounds like it if he knows the Monster Games.
Yeah. Well, this guy, he's an athlete. I mean, just look at that profile picture.
What's up, Kenneth?
See?
Yeah. See, I should have known these comments. This is distracting.
See, this is the problem. You should have kept it hidden. I told you I did want.
You need to keep it hidden. I
do. It distracts me way too much. But you see, I know now who's in the comments, and I make sure I'm dressed appropriately. See, it all links back. So in the off season, you're doing a comp, you're training but not overtraining. Is there any kind of grid? I guess now you can reflect on your season. And maybe are there certain things where you're thinking it would have been good if I could have picked up the slack there, and so I'm going to focus maybe on honing my skills a little bit there, or I'm going to, I've also got a question for you. What is your actual role on the team? Because when I looked up your profile, on your picture it says one thing, and in the description it says another thing.
I know. I think didn't it have me as a body weight somewhere? I was like,
which makes me laugh when you said my weakness is gymnastics.
I'm like a big girl, all right, 175. You're not going to see me slinging my body anywhere. But I think off-season grid. No, I like being a strength specialist. I like to consider myself more utility.
Which is what Avery's saying here. She's strength, but really she's in utility. Yeah. But Sophia is saying, no, you are strength.
We know for sure I'm not body weight. Oh my God. They just, I don't know, Sophia, if you remember, they had me on strength on one thing, and then in the bio it said body weight.
It's tricky because within strength as well, you've got degrees. It's you've got the really strong strength specialists,
right,
that you're getting to do yoke carries, flip sleds, sort of farmer carry things. And then you kind of have your strength specialist closer to utility, right, that is used to do some of the very heavy stuff, but then also some of the kind of more utility, and then you've got utility in the middle, and even utility leans utility closer to body weight, utility closer to strength. So
yeah. I'd say
she's a dance specialist. Oh, of course, we should have known that.
I don't know what I'm doing at the time, but you just
they also had Cardona as strength. Yeah, that was week 1. That shocked the grid world.
That's funny.
Including Cardona, because I asked him specifically about that, and he said, yeah, that was a surprise to me as well. Yes. But you like grid because it lets you run from your weaknesses, you said. That was the good thing, right? You don't have to do those things. But also, like, the thing I do like about grid as well, and I know when I've spoken to some of the stronger utility players, even they feel a bit like some of the strength numbers could even go up a bit, because it's very hard for a utility player to do some of the body weight stuff, right? Like, you might be like, yeah, I'm a utility player. I'm pretty good. I got my muscle ups. It's like, are you doing the backup rises and then doing the like handstand on the ring? No. I'm not doing that. Okay. Are you doing aerial? No. I'm not doing that. But with the strength, sometimes like for some of the really strong utility players are strong enough kind of to handle the. So when we get this strength stuff really heavy, I kind of, it's like the ladder. I like it when people struggle to clear the ladder, because then when someone clears the ladder, you're like, that's amazing. But when everybody's clearing a ladder, you're like,
then you're just waiting on points. All right. Which, I mean, it obviously is like the goal is to win it. But if everyone's going through, it's just more so, oh, I'm so anxious to see the overall score. Yeah, I would be okay with some heavier barbells.
Yeah, Avery is saying that it would be cool for the Echo and Triad weight to go up, but not mirror and ladder. Those are heavy enough.
I think ladder could go up. I disagree with that. Mirror is pretty heavy just because you're doing a bunch of reps.
Yeah. I mean, mirror is the one as well, because there's always the fear of if you drop the bar.
Incorrectly labeled as Matt.
A bodyweight specialist clears every ladder this year. I've heard. Needs to be heavier for sure.
I would love to get that strength.
Because you could lift a house.
Miss that last barbell on the snatch ladder.
I hear ladders are going up.
I'm here for it. Bring it on. Besides the snatch, don't do that.
I mean, this year. Okay, let's talk about specifically this weekend.
Okay.
No, actually, scratch that. Let's just say, while you're sad your season is over, what a season for the Bandits. It was what I liked about the Bandits, like observing you from the outside, and I know some of your players, and I've knew some before, and now I know more, which I love. Is it was a real clear line of improvement, which is ironic because we usually talk about how we don't have with when you're training CrossFit, you're like, you'll get better at some things and then worse at other things, and then it's kind of this constant like, oh, my strength numbers have gone up a bit, oh, my body weight stuff has gone down. But for your team, like every match, you could see, they've learned a lesson from the previous match. Like, we made all these mistakes. Next match, maybe some other mistakes, but not. It was rare to see you repeating the same mistakes. Like you were kind of like, okay, lesson learned, which was great. And it like culminated in this sort of beautiful. You went against the Sharks. Fika's in here. You went to get sorry, hold on, I forgot Fika's in. You went against that incredible team, the Sharks. That was so dominant all season, and then you handed them the first loss. Oh, sorry, Matt handed them the first loss. But it was like ringer points, right? Which I think on both sides for the Sharks, losing a ringer race is kind of.
They feel like me,
It's like it's 1-on-1, right? There's not much we could do. If you happen to have someone who's better, it's hard to do anything about that. Which is why the Brigade did a fantastic job the following day, where they were able to actually kind of really, because Jess is in here as well, and I've got to say that the Brigade put up a pretty impressive fight. But like, you've gone from not winning, suddenly you've gone against the team that everyone was like, oh, they're the favorites, they're so strong. They've not only won every match, they've won every race. And you're like, well, not every race.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, you went against the Venoms, which, on paper was like, okay, well, neither of these teams have won this season. Right. So, boring. Not boring. What a match. Like,
yeah.
How was that for you, kind of that being your final match?
It was a lot of fun. And I know a lot of players on Venom, so that was kind of fun to like banter back and forth. Just good sports all around, you know. But it was a really good matchup. Of course, we wanted the W, so that was unfortunate, but it was nice to be that close.
I mean, it was close. It was so close.
Yeah.
But that whole weekend, everything was super close. But did that,
Especially.
I guess, not that you didn't enjoy, the other matches.
Yeah.
But when you got to have that real back and forth and, if we can take a win here, we're tied again, or we take the lead and, it's being exchanged and nobody knows who's going to win. How different did that feel to kind of all the other matches where you're just like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna pull this back now?
Oh boy, I don't know if it felt different. I don't know. To be honest, by the time I realized that we were going into the sprint relay tied, I was blacked out after triad, which was really like embarrassing. But I didn't know what was going on. I was begging everyone to take my devil presses. So I didn't even realize that sprint relay. And then I looked up and then Matt was on the rings and they were off their rings. And I was like, well, shit. All right. There's our L. But that's okay. But it was fun. It was fun going into the sprint relay, like knowing that it's going to be a head-to-head really fast race to win.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, just again, I don't know what's going on. Just comments are flying. That triad was discussing. Here he is, Arthur Cavell. Makes his presence known, of course.
I couldn't. It went from 0 to 100 real fast. I have no idea. I went from the devil press to handstand push-ups, and then I picked up that D ball, which I can usually squat clean it. And I like get it to my lap and I'm like, oh shit. Okay, how do I get it to my shoulder? And then it was just, they were the hardest squats I've ever done. And and then I was supposed to be done after the D-ball squats. And so I go lay on the floor and all of a sudden Red's there saying, I need you to deadlift. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, of course, no problem.
I can breathe. Like
I'm a strength specialist.
My body was okay, but I couldn't see. I'm like, God, is that you? Hello?
Oh, so you finally had a message from God and he is telling you he needs you to deadlift.
He did. He's like, we'll put the bar down. I said, okay, God. All right. Yeah. I got it.
How do you like the structure to the races and the matches? The fact that you're kind of, while it changes within a fixed format. I'm just trying to think with your kind of background of just, well, the majority of people's background in grid is CrossFit, apart from the extreme specialists. Obviously you sign up for a competition, you're going to see Corey at the Monster Games, next weekend. You never know, like, what they're going to throw at you, like what, right. What kind of, we're going to have X number of events and they're going to be, one's going to be like this and one's going to be like that. With grid, you're like, okay, I don't know exactly which movements are going to be in every match yet.
Yeah.
But I know we're going to have partner forward, we're going to have the triad, we're going to have the... Do you like that degree of kind of, while you don't know everything, you can sort of mentally prepare yourself for what's coming, even like way ahead of time? Like how does that alter your sort of state going into a competition?
I love it. I mean, of course, it was a learning curve when I first started practicing of like, I don't know what partner forward means. I don't know what echo means. I don't know these things. So that was really confusing at first, but after the first match, it was like, okay. But it's similar to CrossFit. I mean, you train the way you train to be ready for whatever the grid match is or the CrossFit competition is. And then once you find out the workouts, then you can hone in on that specific stuff. So I liked it. I did feel like it did get a little boring toward the end, like, 3 weeks between matches.
Towards the end. That was when it was the most exciting.
Boring meaning like we got home from Miami and you have 3 weeks now to prepare. I have ADHD. I couldn't look at matches. I need to go match 1. Okay, that's done. Now match 2. And so within 3 weeks, I'm hitting those.
You'd quite like them to condense the grid season into one.
No. Over with. But meaning like the movements, I practice them so often.
Got you. Right.
I was like, okay, I'm so glad now we're going to move on to a different match now so I can train other movements.
Yeah. What has been of the multiple races that you will have taken part in, what was your favorite one this season?
Favorite race?
Yeah. If
Um,
that's too hard a question, you can just tell me which is your favorite child.
my favorite child. I do
Yeah.
have one. No, I'm just kidding. I
You seem so quick to have an answer to that one. You're like, oh, that is easier, actually.
I was just talking to a group of friends the other day about every parent has a favorite kid. Every parent does. Now, I still love my kids, you know what I mean? And never would I tell the child they're my favorite, but
Yeah.
you
But
know,
they'll know. They'll know.
I think match 2 was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the movements a lot. Um, although my favorite ladder was probably the thruster ladder, not the sandbag.
Not the sandbag. How tall are you?
5'8". I don't know. Avery says no. 5'9". I don't know. I'm tall.
Yeah. And you didn't like the sandbag one.
I liked it. It just I like anything to do with a clean, like
You
a
like anything to do with a clean? I like a clean. I just don't like it when they then make me squat and put it over my head. That's
I'm the favorite, Jess. I know that. I'm the only girl in my family. Sorry, brothers.
okay. Matt's got another question. Her favorite teammate and why is it him?
Shout out Red and Avery. Hey, just kidding.
Now you better quickly shout out every other player on your team, otherwise you're in big trouble.
Well, I consider Sophia coach, not player, but Matt, you're okay.
You're okay. You're tolerable.
Wait. That's what the Asians do.
Yeah, just a small heart. That's all they've got for you.
Small everything.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Aaron was my homie.
yeah. How is the team vibe? So this is another observation. Somebody asked me today, or sent me a message saying, "Oh, you seem to be really enjoying the grid stuff that you're doing," and I'm like, "Yeah, because they, you know, first of all, they want me there, which I really appreciate, and I go, but it's things like with the teams." You know, when you follow, and I probably people that watch all these shows probably have heard me say this a dozen times, but like CrossFit teams to me aren't really teams. You know, they're 4 athletes that happen to be together on a team for this particular competition. And maybe they've got a name that we recognize, you know, maybe they're under the Mayhem banner or the Proven banner or whatever, but it's not like, oh, I'm Team Mayhem no matter what. You know, it's sort of, oh, I really like these 2 athletes and they happen to be on that team this year. And next year they've moved to a different team, you know, now they're Team Frog Grips. And I love that team because it's my 2 friends that are on that team. With grid, you know, you can really get behind the teams, right? You can pick your team. You've got your team. You can follow your team. In the live chat, people are like really cheering for their team, kind of regardless of who's in the actual race at that moment. They're backing their team. What's it like for you being, you know, part of that team and just getting to, you know, like you've got your teammates showing up on the live chat here. They clearly are supporting you. You support each other. You're having a good time. Just what's your sort of vibe? Just having run through now the whole season for you, and being part of, you know, a team in this sense.
Right. It is different than a CrossFit team, like you said. You know, I was close to the 3 teammates on my CrossFit team. One, Shelby, she was like my neighbor, so we hung out all the time. We were really close. This is just different because this is like family. We're constantly in group chats together, talking. You just pick right back up when you guys see each other in person, and the banter's fun. The late night charades. You know, Matt and I both, we would just be like, sorry, we're so wild when we don't have kids around. What do we do? And so people are just like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I love the family vibe and just how close we got throughout the season. And I'm excited to hang out more later.
Yeah. That has to remind me that Matt did give one of the greatest interviews.
Oh, when he gave his
grid.
shout out.
More when he was just saying about how, you know, he was so happy he could leave the kids at home and come and compete, and someone else was looking after the kids.
I should plug my husband if he's still on here. Thank you, George, for allowing me to do all these fun things.
Yeah,
and supporting me financially,
and lending you the jacket
and your graduation robe. Hogwarts. Somebody, I think it was Kenneth.
Yeah, somebody did. I think it was it Kenneth maybe?
Yeah, go Gryffindor. Hey. I actually had never watched those movies until last year.
Sorry, I've just scrolled back. There were a lot of comments I didn't see. Don't all ladders go up? Isn't that the point of a ladder, to reach something you can't without one? Yeah, well done, Corey. I just appreciate that.
Heavier. You know, everyone's fine. Oh, you're talking about ladder.
Yeah.
That took me a minute.
No kids equals early 20s. Yeah.
Mine is the alcohol. I mean, like Mason is so funny. He's just a country boy, and he'd be like, "Let's go out to the bar," you know. And I'm like, "Let's not. That sounds miserable." Ugh. Let's play Mario. Like this time, he brought his Nintendo 64, and I was like, "That's much more my speed."
Yeah, it is. It is funny that, like, when we go away and you're kind of like, oh, I can actually go to sleep tonight without someone coming in my room 17 times.
I mean, you say
that's great,
but the sleep is terrible when you travel.
Oh, well, that's true. Oh, yeah.
Well, and then if you do try to go to bed, because friends in the comments, Sophia asked us in Tampa, can you guys treat this like the CrossFit Games? Go to bed early, get good sleep, eat well. And so I try to go to bed at 10 o'clock night one, and they're up to like 2 a.m. screaming and yelling.
It's unacceptable, really.
Yeah. And then yells at us because we're up at 7 a.m. being too loud. I'm like, what? What about them at 2 a.m.? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's why they're like, well, it's like whenever I go away anywhere with my brother and his wife, and they don't have kids, and they'll want to be up really late, and like, oh, let's play a board game or let's play cards or something like that, and it's, you know, super late. But then they'll sleep in until 10, 11, 12, whereas we're, you know, 6:30 we're up anyway because the kids are up and we're up. So
yeah.
Hold on, I've just also got to I said, I don't know if we talked about it, but Jason needs to do a ringer versus Daniel at championships. I don't know, Daniel looks strong. I mean, I'll have done a lot of burpee practice in a suit, so I could probably
maybe you guys do a burpee ringer in your suit.
Do a burpee ringer, yeah, maybe. Oh, Smash Bros. Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. Bars nowadays need a bouncer that can tell how long it would be inside, how many people are in there, so I know I'm not going inside. Good idea, yeah. With Dennis Rodman of Grid, we need to take the edge off and perform at our best. Yeah, no. I was working today. My wife said to me, I don't know how you're still functioning. You haven't slept properly for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And when I went away to this event, I think I got about 4 hours sleep a night.
Yeah, that's miserable.
And I remember the first night I came back from it was a 2-day competition. I came back on the Saturday. I was transferring like files from my camera to my computer, and I fell asleep. Just like I had the computer on the bed. I just fell asleep. I was so tired. And then there was a massive firework display going on outside my window.
Oh, did it wake you up?
It woke me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It woke me up.
Well, like, dang.
And I was like, great. Appreciate that.
I did look up what time. So it's like 10 o'clock at night there right now?
Yes. Right now, yeah.
Because I was like, what time is it in UK at 3? My time. And it was like 9 p.m. And I was like, the fuck? Sorry.
So,
the language. Like, that's late.
So I have I kind of tried to. I've always said when I start doing any of this CrossFit media-y, you know, stuff, is like, I don't want to be that person that talks more about CrossFit than I do it. Okay. So that was it. So what I've tried to do is push these back a little bit later now. So my box is only 5-minute walk from my house.
Okay.
Very convenient. So I can do like a full day of work. I can come back. I can usually get into like the 6 or 7 o'clock class, and I would still be back in time to do one of these shows.
Weird. Okay.
So now I'm pushing it a bit later. I've realized that's, you know, the lack of sleep is better than the lack of going to the gym and actually working out. So there we go. Let's see. Oh, more people are saying about this burpee ringer.
I agree. I think the burpee in your suits would be really fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if I reposted a reel that I'd put up a little while ago. There was talk that if I made it to the championships.
When? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, this was an if when it was said.
Fair. All right.
Now it's most likely. Still not a guarantee, but it's looking pretty good. Yeah. There was talk of the coaches ringer happening.
Right.
So yeah. I'm assuming that's going to happen with a weighted vest.
Jeez, it keeps getting worse. Those weight vests were really bouncy. I was like, this be like women who have big boobs, what it feels like. I don't know, but it was just like I think Herc busted his lip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Got to be careful. You got to be careful with these things. It's like handstand ramps. You just never know how dangerous they
You
can be.
never know when
Somebody
you're
rips their face off, apparently.
Mary Josh.
Yeah, with a weight vest. Okay. Yeah, but of course, I just realized. Of course, Jess wants it to be a burpee ring. She's the queen of burpee ringers. Yeah.
I mean, not against you. She wants you guys to do it.
No, I know. The 5. Oh, well, hold on. Oh. The 5 lb. The 5-pound plates inside the vest was not the move. Okay. So much easier this year than last year. All right. Well, I don't know. Wasn't there last year to do. You weren't there last year to try it, Lauren. So you've got no point of reference. What would you like to see? So every year we see new moves, new elements, new weight show up in grid, right? What would be the thing you would? Oh, talk of the ringer race, and he shall appear.
What's up?
Hi, Dan.
Oh.
Oh, of course.
Why did we think of that?
Of course. We talk about we started talking earlier about these pregnant women that just humble you.
Yeah.
Jess is the one, really. That was so funny because I think I spoke to her shortly before the season started, and I pretty much got the impression from the conversation we were not going to see her on the grid again for the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then bang, match 1, there she is. There they are, I should say. I don't know how that would have complicated the like substitution rules and how many players you're allowed on the grid at a single time, but anyway, they let it slide. But yes, well done, Jess. Inspiration on the grid. What would you like to see show up next season? Like if you hear, oh, they're going to bring this in, or they're going to redo this one again, or we're going to, a new element that they're going to bring in, or something that's going to change, something's going to get heavier, maybe a ladder. What would be your ideal ladder?
Anything with a clean. I saw, oh gosh, I don't know his name. I just lost it. Anyways, I only know like Instagram handles, but he's on the Lions. Archie, maybe, but he was doing something that looked like maybe a mirror that's coming up with like hang cleans, and I was like, dang, that would have been fun. So anything with a heavy clean.
Do you prefer just a single, so approach the bar, it's one move, or would you be happy for like a little mini complex in there of like a clean hang clean, something like that?
Yeah, either of those. Like if we're talking just ladder clean or a complex would be fun, but I also just like cycling barbells, so for the mirror or whatever, or partner forward.
Burpee box jump pistols.
Burpee box jump.
Broad jump burpee. I've been asking Mother for years.
Yeah. Either of those. Yeah, this would be fun.
I wouldn't mind seeing you do like burpee broad jumps down the.
That would be fun. A burpee broad jump would be fun. Yeah, some people are probably gonna have some hops.
Oh no, they're not gonna be fun. Burpee broad jump pistols.
I'm just trying to imagine these. Last year we had hang clean and hang squat clean mirrors. Yeah, I would like that for sure.
Yeah. Cleans and hang squat mirrors back to back.
Yeah.
Oh, I've already made all my strong women dreams come true. Oh, I wonder what.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Hey, but maybe like even a heavier bag. Oh, not to
this guy. Of course. Ladder, but you have to handstand walk to each weight. If we're asking for things we'd be really good at. Yeah. A sandbag clean to the shoulder ladder would be good.
Yeah, I agree. That would be fun. Kind of like how they did at the games one year.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
And that was funny, right? Because I remember in the lead up to the games, when we found out it was going to be a sandbag, people were very disappointed.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, it's not, that's going to look terrible. That's not going to be, it's not going to look good on camera. It's not going to look good on camera. Oh, it's going to and it was amazing.
Yeah. Those, I don't know names, but the little girls that were cleaning those huge sandbags, that was so impressive.
Yeah. So that would be good to see. I agree. But I know there's also like the logistics side of things. You're thinking like, oh, how much stuff can we transport? Where can we get it? Where are we having this?
No, fair. You know what? See, I told you I don't think logistically. I just think about what I want.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Okay. Yeah. It was the only Christian says that was the only exciting thing at the games that year. says the strong woman. What do we expect?
That's fun. Hi, George. That's my husband.
That's your husband.
That's my husband. Hey, Jorge. Hey.
And he's asking you, has Grid done Atlas stones? So, Lauren, as the Grid athlete.
I think he's asking you. You have the knowledge. Everybody in the chat.
Yeah, the chat has the combined knowledge. That's what we need.
Sausages. Yes. Here's Base Show. I don't know who this is, but they're in the chat all the time. I don't think they've done Atlas stones, but I don't know how you get those.
Yeah. Atlas stones would be tough. They would ruin our uniforms.
Yeah, that's what Fico just said too.
Yeah, shows will break the jerseys. I mean, it might not look cool, but you could just give everyone a little bib that they have to wear before they get the stones.
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't think, or you could do the like.
Oh no, not the hairdresser's Base Show. I don't know who you are. I'm wearing my husband's graduation gown.
Yeah, because she didn't have time to buy a jacket for the show.
Worn back. No.
Bye, Jess. Bye, Jess. I really hope to see you next month in person, finally. But yeah.
I get you, Fico. So they were originally the idea, is what Fico said. The Atlas stones were.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So that's the original idea prior to sandbags, if I'm not mistaken. I was thinking about the at Rogue this year. They had like the steps.
Oh, like strongmen do. Did they?
Yeah. Like yeah, they were like, it's like a kind of like T-bar type weight that you're lifting up. Something like that could work. Yeah. That's not gonna ruin the uniform.
Boy.
I love that. That's something we have to take into. So I was saying earlier, like, oh yeah, we've obviously got to think about the logistics. You know, they've got to transport all this equipment to the venue. I hadn't thought, and we've got to make sure that the uniforms stay pristine and look good.
I do respect Grid a lot because of that. I just like how professional they treat us. Like we look good in our uniforms, like everything starts on time, you know, mostly besides the challenges, but you know, the media, you just don't get that with CrossFit unless you're the top 0.001%. So I respect Grid for that. Yeah.
Does that make you, do you feel more like a real athlete than when you do Grid because you got a uniform, because you look, I mean, I think you notice it even, so Base Show, who you've said you don't know, I know he was at Sid UK Champs last weekend, and it's always interesting when you look at like the teams that show up for these kind of events, you know, where they are just your weekend warriors, or, you know, they're pretty good athletes, but again, they've kind of got a ceiling on where they're going to be. Right. But it's always fascinating to see people that have just turned up like it's another WOD.
Yeah.
And people that are like coordinated. We're all wearing the same, you know, we've got 3 events today, and we've got our you know, what we're going to be wearing for each one, and we're going to be matching, and and instantly they look more professional, even though they might not be as fit as the other people that have just turned up in, you know, one's got a HWPO t-shirt and one's got a
I see where you're going. I feel like for me, I'm like, to put that work in to match with my teammates at a CrossFit comp again. I did that when I first started, but now I'm like, I don't have pink shorts to match you. Like, wear whatever you want to wear. Let's just go work out. But with Grid, so yeah, I guess, you feel kind of like cool that you're in uniforms. And
because it is funny that it is one of the things people like joke about with Grid. Like, you know, when we're going back to our comments from CrossFitters that don't do Grid, that don't watch Grid, it is a bit like, oh, you know, have they seen those uniforms? I mean, there's always comments about John Young and his uniform. That comes up a lot.
Fitting, I didn't super love the fitting of like the shorts. I don't know. I got the leggings at first, but they had like the booty, and I'm like, I don't wear that. So I felt very uncomfortable in them. And then I felt so bad for like Mather and Ruby, because some of us girls needed black shorts to, I'll just be honest, not show our pee. And I don't think, they wanted they want us to all look and have the same color pants. I felt really bad for causing like an issue with that, but
it's tricky, isn't it? Because
it's a big game. Poor John. I don't think anything will fit him. I mean, he's got to have like a 3L.
Even if he was like short, why are they so short? I don't know.
That's the way he's built. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's a curse, Elizabeth.
I'm surprised.
Jess, what were you doing? You said you were leaving.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't like that. I wanted the biker shorts, but no one had tried them yet to give me feedback on them.
Look at this. Arthur gives actually a very sensible answer here. The uniform has to be super tight because you don't want a shirt going up and down while doing the movement.
Shots, I was like, am I pregnant? This is not super flattering, but I'm grateful regardless. So don't take that as me complaining.
Yeah, don't take my uniform away.
Don't take me out of grid. I love it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think actually Arthur's comment is very good. I was just thinking actually you do a lot of handstand push-ups. You do a lot of.
But John Young
on the rig.
We could get him some shorts that fit.
Yeah, we'll just get him like 2 pairs and sew them together, and maybe he can wear them like that.
I could hand sew for him.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer to that is really. Or you have to wear like the skin colored like leggings underneath.
Yeah.
So it looks like you do. When someone turns up and they're wearing like those kind of tan skin colored leggings, and you do a double take because you're like, has that person just walked down the street not wearing anything? And they're like, oh no, they're just wearing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Leggings. So you could wear that under the shorts, and then no one would know. Jason in a grid uniform would be like Freddie Mercury, and I want to break free. I mean, that's one of the reasons I wear a suit, is so I don't find myself in these situations. Because
who was it on your podcast that was like, Jason's ripped? Don't let him fool you.
That was Arthur.
Oh, wait, you said Arthur is him?
Yeah, he wasn't. I think he was in the chat.
Okay,
I was talking with Pal and Alyssa.
I was coming home from that day. Yeah.
No, I fly under the radar.
Yeah.
I'm a masters athlete. You know how we roll.
Come on now.
Huh?
I said me too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You know how we. I think that's potentially another reason why the uniforms are so tight. Is it sort of forcing you in the off season to be really well behaved?
Yeah.
Because coming back, you're like, I've got nowhere to hide this.
Sure. Yeah. Stop going to my stomach and maybe somewhere else.
Okay. Well, so we should have said when your husband was in the chat, we should have been talking about all your travel plans for next month.
Yeah, he's driving.
Forgot to make sure
for August, George.
For August, yeah. It's obviously.
Is that near?
I assume in order to be, the best version of yourself you can be next season, you need to observe the best of the best in this grid season. And that is going to happen in the playoff and championships. And as we're constantly reminded when watching the live feed, it's just not the same. You've got to see it in person. So I think he owes it to you.
I don't think George owes me anything.
You owe it to yourself to be there. All right. Anyway.
You can meet everybody. I think I'll have FOMO.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
Well, fair. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's good. But it does allow me to always praise the live stream for Grid, because it is actually it was interesting when I was watching it last weekend, and I was there with people that don't watch it, don't know it, and a lot of the people in the chat that were watching it don't know it. There were comments about how like user friendly it is compared to just coming into another comment, how everything was explained and they knew what was going to happen, and so, like, that's good, right?
Yeah, they love the explanations.
And the fact that you have a camera on each side and you can see. Although this time, I don't know what happened, but I felt like the cameras were slightly off a little bit. And sometimes, like with like the farmer carry, it was very hard to tell until you'd see them cross a line. Like
a lag on one side?
No, more like, like he looks like he's moving, he looks like he's closer to the camera. So it looks like he's ahead. But actually, the person on the other side was ahead, but the camera was kind of further back. So, it just sort of distorted your view a little bit. But that's, I'm nitpicking now. I'm really like you know.
I feel like Base Show, you ask the same questions every show, right? I've seen this.
You know, yeah. I
Um,
didn't know he's a moderator. I don't remember doing that.
Knives for fingers or tits. Gosh, maybe tits for ears. I just like. How would you pick your nose or wipe your?
Carefully, I suppose, is the answer to that question.
Yeah. Keep it real here.
That's what you've got kids for. You give them instructions and you get them to do things for you.
Okay, can we get this booger, please?
Yeah.
Mommy's gonna cut dinner.
And you remind them that you spent like the first few years of their life doing exactly that for them.
Correct.
So, you know, turnabout is fair play, as they say. Okay. Hopefully, maybe if the planets align, we'll either see you in person next month, or if they really line up well, maybe I'll see you at a grid match next year.
I would love that.
That would be exciting for
me.
That'd
be really cool.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for coming. We've had a lot. The chat's been clearly they're here for you, Lauren, not for me. So I love that. And if anybody in the chat wants to be involved in this Monday show that's going to happen on the, did I say the 3rd? Is it Monday? Is Monday the 3rd? I can't remember now.
The 3rd is on the Sunday.
So Monday the 4th. Monday the 4th. Yeah. So if anyone,
I'm gonna try Fico. If George is still in the comments, George, let's go on a weekend getaway.
Yeah. And just think, George, you get to meet me. What a privilege.
Jason, we're just talking about expensive trips. I have 3 kids. That's expensive.
Yeah. Oh,
I love it,
bring the kids to Disney. Yeah.
Somebody
today did say to me, "Oh, you know, it's really close to Disney if you want." And I was thinking, I already have to sort of gently let down my wife and kids that yes, during your school break, I will be leaving.
I get to take the trip, so sorry, you stay home. Oh, hey, Jorge. Possibly. He does have some vacation days he needs to use. Is Kissimmee near Orlando? Is that it? Hi, Mather. Big.
Yeah, I've been told to fly into Orlando. That's
okay.
I better be right.
I think that's where his brother lives, so we could just go see his brother.
Ask Mather. Is that right, Mather? Is that? And he's a big Lauren fan. So.
Yeah, I'm a big Mather fan. Big grid fan in general.
My schedule is always open to you, Jason. Oh yes, sorry. I was saying if anybody
go away.
If you guys wanted, if anyone wants to jump in on this live show, at the moment, it could be a pretty quick show because, that's less than 50 burpees that need to be done.
Yeah.
And if I do them at grid speed, show's over. Show's over very quickly. If I do them at my usual speed, I can string it out a little bit longer than that. But there's still like 14 days, 13 days that people can click the link, go in, donate. So it could end up being a longer show.
Will this be your first time in the States?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it worth your while. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I'm excited to go. It's going to be a very. I'm looking at probably it's going to be like fly in Thursday, fly out Sunday, Monday. Like
right.
It's not going to be.
There's my daughter.
Everyone's coming. The whole family's coming. Get the dog in as well.
She's been dying to go to either a competition or grid match with me, and stars haven't aligned yet. She was supposed to go with me to Dallas, but she went to see her dad instead, which is great.
Right. How old is she?
She's 15. She'll be 16 on August 3rd. That's how I knew what day that was. But
right. Oh, well done. Right. So, you know what? I'm obviously I'm out there on my own, right? So I might need someone to hold the camera sometimes and help me out when I'm doing all the interviews. So
can I bring my Hogwarts thing?
Yeah, bring your Hogwarts thing.
Let's go.
Yeah, and by the way, as well, if you're going to be there and you're not on one of the teams that's competing, so if you're just like we're just going to go because we love grid and we're supporting it, also let me know, because the plan, if I'm coming all of that way. Oh, you can bet I'm interviewing every single person that has ever stepped foot on a grid.
That's what you said,
on the grid. So let me know, because I'll try and make sure I have time for everyone. Cool. I will not be sleeping. I will be chatting a lot.
Yeah.
But very excited to look forward to that. As I was saying, if anybody's in the chat that wants to be involved on that Monday show, because I probably won't be doing a lot of talking. other people will be talking. So I'll bring a couple of you on. You guys can all chat. Podcast. Daniel, podcast. There's no context to that. That's just a word with a question mark.
That's
Podcast?
really cool. Podcast.
What, for the Monday or when I'm or when I'm in the States?
Oh, maybe like on his podcast streaming.
Oh,
how would that work?
I mean, if I'm invited, if I'm given the honor.
Oh, so you'd stream it? Yeah. Okay. Well, she's must. She's
when you are at
chips. Oh, do 2 podcasts. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'll try and bring my stuff to. I'm available, guys. I'm available. If I don't have friends or family there beyond grid. So
the mini mic. Can I send you my mini mic and that's how you do your interviews? You're holding a miniature microphone.
Is it literally a tiny little mic?
It's so cute. Hello.
No, I'll be using my I've got my mic. Don't worry. I have a travel system. I am ready to go.
I'm an online teacher, so I have a microphone.
Oh, is that what you have?
That's why this is a classroom. I teach.
Ah, there we see.
Your turn to talk.
Yeah. You don't want this microphone? That's.
I know, that's really fancy.
And very heavy. If you ever have to just hold it. When I would do shows with this, I would take it and record at the box with these. Yeah. I've got 2 of these, and I'm obviously not setting all of this up there. And I would say like, oh, and I would warn them before I'd be, by the way, these mics are really heavy. You know, yeah, sure, whatever. We do CrossFit. And by the end, they were like, oh, that mic was really heavy.
I told you
it was heavy. No, I've got like the little DJI, like tiny mics that will.
This one's funnier though when you hold it.
Yeah, but don't worry.
Seriously. Yes, the mini mic. See, I unfortunately struggle with being serious. It's always play.
No. Really?
What? I know. You know, like, this is unfortunate. Sorry, I know we probably need to go. But like my mom, when I was young, was like, hey, we had to put our family dog down. And I was like, did you cry? Did you laugh? And she's like, this isn't funny. Like, I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
With sad situations.
And yet dance seems to be the go-to.
Always dancing is crying or dancing. That's always the answer.
Yeah. Okay. Remember that, Isabella. Crying or dancing is always the answer.
Thank you. See?
Right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And again, truly thank you to everyone that has actually donated money. I am a little bit in shock because I wasn't even sure if I should have done a fundraiser thing. I felt really weird putting it out there.
Yeah.
It was a strange thing. I was like, oh, and I was thinking about doing it, and then I suddenly realized, oh, actually, it's only about 2 weeks away. Yeah, I've got time to sort of organize things, so I better do it now. And yeah, within like less than 24 hours, I'm, rattling through the goals I've put out. So definitely, did John borrow Lauren's shorts?
I saw that.
No.
John's just
yeah. Says if Jason and Daniel do a ringer, I'll dress up as Brandon and Judge. There we go.
With the hair, he's a merman. I dubbed him the merman.
I think I did tell Brandon he needs to come on the show when I do the burpees, because he did say who's checking the standard of the burpees. So I did say to him,
quiet on your last podcast. You got to tell him he has to talk.
He doesn't want to get in trouble.
Bro, oh, he did say that. Yeah, with the hair. There you go.
With the hair.
Awesome. Yeah, my daughter has a very long wig you can borrow if you'd like it. Oh. Love that.
Oh, he's ordering the wig. Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, maybe you'll just put it up on eBay already. So he's buying it from her. Right. Okay. But as we have said, it was already 10. So it is now about 10:30. So I probably should go. But Lauren, it has been wonderful. Thank you for finally coming on. I've enjoyed your comments in the live chat so much that I was like, got to get you on. I will also try and I have a show scheduled for the same time next Wednesday with Billy and Andrew from the Breakers.
Yep.
But there's a Monday between now and then, so maybe we'll squeeze in another show.
Let me know. Always down to talk and the live chat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You'll know if it's happening. You'll know. Yeah. So I'll try and book in. I got to try and book in as much stuff as I can before I go. That's the plan. You see, before maybe I go. It's still not 100% yet, guys. It's
glass half full here. Glass half
like
full.
80% sure at this point, which is very good. Wonderful. Lauren, it's been an absolute pleasure. Lovely to see that you've got such a supportive crew around you as well. Also from the other teams.
I
So,
know. Thank you guys.
yeah, you're a bit shocked. Are you shocked by that?
No, Grit's just cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Just
know.
be careful. Just be careful that they're not poaching. That's all all I'm going to say.
I just
Can't
want to
trust
be
these
everyone's
people.
friends.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. See you on Wednesday or maybe Monday. Who knows? And thank you again, Lauren.